going to be looking at our Toyota Tacoma. Now, you might say, gee, a lot of Tacomas lately, and you'd be right. The Long Island Overland Group is very heavy on Tacomas. In fact, there's times when the photos of our meets look like Toyota Tacoma clubs. There's a few Jeeps, at least one lifted Subaru. There's me and the Sequoia, but for the most part, it's a Tacoma group. And, you know, it's a community of people of like mind that have found a common solution that seems to work for them. And we'll be looking at quite a few of the Tacoma rigs on the channel, as well as some other things too. The lifted Subaru is coming up in the future, so stay tuned for that. But today is Juan Escobar's Tacoma. Also this week, I'm going to drop a video on you, two videos on you. One is sleep systems in our Gear Talk series. Just some thoughts on minimalist or ultralight gear approach to sleeping. And then I'm going to drop a video on my solar cell that I built. And the solar cell is the power system for the Overland Command trailer that I'm building, which you'll be seeing in the future when it's complete. But for now, the solar cell system is up and running. It's ready to go. It's been tested on the trailer wiring while I'm doing the construction approach, and everything's working as designed. So thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your support. Please hit the like button and subscribe. That's Long Island Sound out there in Seacliff, New York. Juan is a member of Long Island Overland and of Overland Bound. We're going to look at his Tacoma today, and he is also an executive of Long Island Overland, right? You're
administrator.
An administrator.
Yep.
And so helps run the club, the website, and is responsible for organizing a lot of our events. So Juan, tell us a little bit about the truck.
So I got the 2015 Toyota Tacoma DCLB double cab long bed. I got it because I need, you know, space, bigger bed, double cab because I need, you know, passengers and just more storage. And I'm setting it up for, I'm kind of a minimalist, so I try to keep it simple, but have everything, all the commodities, all the luxuries that I would need. For the bumper, I went with, for the front end, I went with the ARB bumper. I went with this choice because they're just, you know, industry standard type, you know, they really have stuff, they really back up their stuff that they make. And we've got a lot of deer around where I'm living at, and if I'm gonna put a lot of money into the truck and a lot of stuff into this truck, I kind of wanted to protect the investment a little bit, especially against, you know, critters on the road. So I got the ARB front bumper. I'm gonna switch these out eventually, but I got MFAB steps. They call them, like, they're not rock sliders, but they're not really, like, you know, side steps. They're a little more beefy. They have taken a beating, and they actually have stood up pretty well. So I'm really liking the MFAB.
Do you have skid plates or anything underneath?
No skid plates, that's the next step. The only skid plate that I have is the one that was, that they gave you with the ARB bumper, and it actually has taken a few hits. One hit in the pines, and it was pretty bad. If I didn't have it, I think I would have been leaking some fluid, but I actually held up really nice, and I have no dents on it or anything, but yeah, it hit pretty hard. And also, to go with the ARB bumper, I actually went with a worn 9,000-pound winch, which is actually hidden behind the license plate. I'm gonna switch that to synthetic, but for now I'm just running the old school rollers with the old school line. But eventually, you know, the lightweight, go a little more lightweight on the truck. I'm gonna switch this to synthetic eventually. For tires and suspension, I cannot recommend these enough. The Wild Peaks, the Falken Wild Peaks AT3Ws, I went with a 285/70 on a R17, rim 17. I went with XD rims. These are just, you know, the bead locks. They're just for looks. They're really not bead locks, but I like the tire. I had the reason I went with the XDs though was because I needed an offset. When I installed the tires, I was rubbing on my SPC control arms, which for suspension, I went with a BP51 all-man EMU setup. I got the kit from OK Four-Wheel Drive. They include the SPC upper control arms, so I needed to go with a -12 offset because the upper control arm was rubbing on the tire, so I needed to go out with something, pull out the tire a little bit. So I went with the, like I said, the BP51 all-man EMU kit. I really love this kit. It's fully customizable on the fly. They give you these little notches and these little, I would call it like a ratchet kind of. And you can actually customize all of this on the fly. So if it's too stiff, you can mess with the compression and the rebound and either soften it up, dampen it. The way I like to think about it is in speed wise. So if you're on, great on road and great off road. So for lights, I didn't go too crazy. eBay special, regular, I don't even know what the name of the light bar is. I actually got a gift from a member, a little barter system. Aux beam for my ditch lights. I just went blank. Aux beams for my ditch light mounts. The mounts for this, same thing, off of Amazon. Nothing special, but it goes fine with what I got going on, and maybe switch them up eventually. I lost a few bulbs here and there, but it's been there for 3 years. It's held up pretty well, and it gives me all the lighting I need.
What about the clamps that you're mounting them with?
These are just, I got them off of Amazon. They just were light bar clamps for bull bars, and it fit. It worked out really well. I got to change the bolts a little bit, but everything other than that, it's held up. Like I said, it's been on here for 3 years, so that's what 3 years of wear and tear looks like. So for headlights, I went with a spider housing with a projector, and inside the projector, I'm running LEDs made by PIAA. Great light output. I haven't had an issue with it. I know a lot of people complain about, rain and LED, but I think with the projectors and the housing and everything that I got going on, PIAA is absolutely outstanding. So for my roof rack setup, I went with Baja rack. I've had these things on here, I think, for the life of the truck. I got them about a year into having my truck, and the truck's 2015, so they've held up pretty well. I know people have some gripes about their paint. They tend to rust, and I got some rust spots and everything, but I try to sand it down, hit it with some paint. It's been holding up very well. I like the flat, kind of low profile look. It makes it easier to mount stuff.
It's minimalist.
It's minimalist. And up top I got a solar panel. Other side I got mounted max tracks.
Which panel did you use, Juan?
It's just run-of-the-mill solar panel, nothing special.
And what are you using it for?
So I use it to charge work batteries, drill batteries, cell phones, tablets, anything that I really need. For now, it's kind of, low power, low voltage type stuff. Nothing crazy. Just flashlights, lighting equipment, anything that I need to charge when I'm out on the trail. I don't got to worry about turning on my truck. I can, keep it off for a few days. As long as there's sunlight, even low sunlight, it comes up pretty good, and it keeps the battery charged, which is actually hooked up to a Optima battery that's in the back over here. So in the bed of my truck, I have a little bit of OCD, so I gotta keep everything neat. I don't like grabbing something, having to move something to grab something. So I went with the decked drawer system. It's held up absolutely great. This was actually on a Jeep Comanche out on the island. So it's seen the beach, it's seen, it's been exposed to all the elements, and it's actually in excellent condition. I keep drills, food, sleeping equipment, everything goes in here. So even if I want to go right now on a camping trip or anywhere I need to go, I actually have everything with me that I would need, lighting, everything. And then on top of it, I actually took, this used to be on my roof rack, on my Baja rack on top. I actually took it off, be a little more low profile, and it's the Road Shower 4. It's technically a 7-gallon tank, but if you hack it, you could actually hook the hose directly to a water source, and it actually fills the air chamber with an extra gallon of water, so you can get 8 gallons. It's all under pressure, no need to run any electricity, so it's completely independent and it works great.
How warm does that get sitting in the sun?
Boiling, yeah.
So it can be hot.
It can be too hot, actually.
Okay.
You have to just introduce some cold water sometimes during the summertime because it gets a little too hot.
And by doing that, by that you mean you pour some in?
Yeah, you pour some in
until it's the temperature
or you
want.
just give it a little spray, let it run for a second, and it kind of cools down a little bit. But yeah, it heats up very well. So if you really want a little hot shower, you can get that. And to top the rear, for me at least, I wanted something to protect everything, to keep everything locked away. We also live the city life, work in the city. So to keep everything tucked away and safe, locked away, I went with a leer cap. This is just a simple leer cap, run of the mill, nothing special. Didn't even get the carpeting in the inside, but it's actually allowed me to hang a paper towel or a few, have some fishing rods over there. At the moment I'm carrying 3, so it just helps out keep everything nice and tucked away.
When you're boondocking or camping, do you sleep inside the truck?
Absolutely, yes. I actually have a mat, an REI mat, and I just lay it flat. I move that toolbox over, and I can sleep comfortably in here. Even put a heater in here.
And cook on the tailgate, I guess.
Cook on the tailgate.
Yeah.
Communications, I went with a Cobra 29 LX, old school, big, in the way, but that's the way I like it. Comfortable with it, and we actually have good range with it. I've tuned it pretty well and got a decent amount of range. I do think of getting ham in the future, but for now, all I'm running is the Cobra. This is what I do. When you're out and you have no service, people run their GPS. That's why I have a satellite GPS. But then at the same time, I run Android Auto, and it runs straight to Google Maps, which is really nice.
And your nav there is a Garmin?
Yeah.
And then you have the cell phone holder there too?
Yep. Charging my cell phone too. So I always try to have everything on me. Like I said, I don't really want to think about things when I want to go on a trip. Even if I want to go on a trip right now, I'm ready to roll. So I got water, first aid kit, and I have just miscellaneous tools down here in this patch right here, and that's just things for my road shower, stuff for my solar panel. I have tools to take everything off and on that's on my truck, things, minor repair kit, anything that I need. Anything gets loose on the trail, I got everything that I need on this panel right here. I always keep a bag with me. I always have like a raincoat, sweatshirts, extra clothes, socks, all that type of stuff, just in case you never know when you want to get away. And like I said, water is always essential, so always got plenty of water on me. And yeah, you try to have everything you need.
All right, we want to thank Juan for giving us a rig walk around of his sweet Tacoma here, one of many Tacomas in LIO. As I said earlier, it can look like sometimes a Tacoma club and not an overland club, but that's because they work really well. And other than the weirdos in Sequoias or Jeeps like me and my other guys, everybody's come up with a really good solution here. Thank you very much for giving us your time today.
Thank you, Ren.
And please like and subscribe the channel if you like what we're doing here. Stay tuned for the other videos I mentioned that are coming up soon. We'll be coming out with the sleep systems on a Gear Talk this week, and also the solar cell that I've finished building for the trailer. And Juan, if they want to follow you, where do they find you?
I'm at Instagram, Esco Traveler, and on Facebook, you can just look me up as Juan Escobar.
Thank you very much, folks. We'll see you next time.